to talk about where to train your dog for success. Okay? Now, you might not realize that this might just be the thing that your success is hinging on, right? So if we think about training a dog, the first thing, the number one thing, the thing that most of you all struggle with before you can even get anywhere close to actually dealing with the problem is simply getting your dog's attention. How am I supposed to communicate? How am I supposed to teach? How am I supposed to get you to respond when I ask you to do something if I don't have your attention? Well, why don't you have their attention? Well, probably because you're boring, right? That's why your dog doesn't pay attention to you. That's why he looks at birds and squirrels and dogs and cats and strangers and not you, because you are boring and they are not. So how do you be more exciting? Well, number one, you go check out Digital Dog School and you pay $27 a month and you learn to play with your dog. But this lesson that I'm going to give right here comes right out of my full online course. So when we talk about where to train your dog for success, we got to think about a couple of things, right? And that's the dog skill set and that's your skill set, right? If I hand just Scooby to you and he's got the best skill set in the world, but your skill set is zero and you guys don't know each other and you haven't built a relationship, then he's going to pull you, he's going to be reactive, and you're going to think that he doesn't know his butt from a hole in the ground. But on the other hand, if you give me your dog and they don't know anything about how to do this correctly, I can help them through that because I'm a good dog handler. So if the dog doesn't have a skill set or the handler doesn't have a skill set, then you've got to pull it back and you've got to find somewhere that makes sense. So where could we find that is you and your dog and their favorite toy or their favorite handful of treats? Well, I don't know. Do you have a garage? Give us a place inside to start. Whether that's got to be in your living room or in your garage or in your basement, or maybe it's in your backyard, right? Or maybe it's in the church parking lot up the street. That gives us the ability to start somewhere where there's not a lot going on so that you and your dog can learn to have a skill set. Where to train is one of the most important things that I teach in Digital Dog School. It's in the first section if you're already in there. So let's take my situation. Okay. This is my house, this is my driveway, and this is the street in my neighborhood, right? We got a cul-de-sac back here. So, on the side of the street. So, here's what we do. We have different areas of training, or arenas of training as I call them, inside Digital Dog School. If we're training inside the house, then that gives me the ability to control the entire environment. It's me and my dog and a handful of treats or a toy that they like or whatever, right? And if it's really, my dog really is impacted by outside, the beauty of my garage or inside my living room is I can open the door and play inside. Or in here, I can open the garage door and go out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in. And that's going to kind of introduce outside. But the other thing is that we're going to build value. We're going to build fun. We're going to build games. We're going to build a good time in this environment and then take it out here into environment 2, which could be the driveway. We could even call the backyard also training arena number 2. But as we get up here closer to the road where there's going to be more likely to be cars and people, right? I've got some trees right here and right here that can make some birds and squirrels appear sometimes. So that's going to make up by the road. That's going to be training arena 3. This here in the road is going to be training arena 4. Now, training arena 4, we don't jump from arena to arena to arena, but if over here is my neighbor's house, then this might be training arena 5. And I don't need to go train in 4, train in 5, but I can go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and even back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so that, number one, I can always make sure that we're doing things correctly, because it's not always about the distance. And honestly, when we're working leash, turning around and going the other way can be very helpful. So what happens if I'm doing this and I'm training here and a dog shows up, right? And I go, oh God, this isn't gonna go good. Well, if I am here, if this is my front door and I'm out here in training arena, 1, I'm inside, the dog doesn't matter. 2, I can run right inside. 3, I can run right inside. 4, I can run right inside. No big deal, right? If you are not ready to deal with the problem, don't. You're gonna screw it up. The other thing that's kind of interesting is like we have all of these, which are just the various places around your house and how you can kind of introduce that in. But like, you know, number 1, y'all going, well, Joel, I need to go for the walk. No, you don't, right? Because if you can't walk over past your neighbor's house without your neighbor's dog barking at your dog and then your dog barking back, and now we have all the things we're trying to avoid, then don't go over there. But if you do it correctly, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth in front of your house, then you will build a skill set that you can use when you get in front of your neighbor's house. Once again, guys, this is the whole thing. Now, we also have, so check this out, because this is very interesting. And when we come into that, well, we need to go for the walk. I need to let my dog sniff and go and do and yada, yada, yada. Well, like, you know, we can play tug and ball and fetch and do training and stuff all in here. And my dog is going to be all happy, all excited. He's going to know what's going on. His life is going to be better than every other dog in the neighborhood that just drags their owner down the street and barks at everybody because he's actually getting what he needs out of life. Let's show you something else that can be done at the exact same time. Brush and walks is to give the dog the chance to make the decision to follow our lead and for us to show them that that is the right decision. Digital Dog School starts before we even get up and go to school, but then it starts at kindergarten and takes you through 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade so that you can learn alongside your dog, right? We're gonna learn to stop the dog from doing all the things that we don't want them to do. Then we're gonna learn how to build a relationship with the dog, how to motivate, how to build confidence, how to build that give and take, that love, that power that gives us the dog that wants to follow us. Once we have that foundation, we will use that to teach the dog the skills. Don't jump on grandma, you know, don't bolt out the front door, come when called, walk nicely on a leash, you know, sit down, middle, stay, all these kind of things, right? And then you have, number 1, a dog who's enjoying their life again because you're playing the games they want to play. Then you have a dog who understands the things that you actually want them to do. Then you and your dog have a skill set you have built together so that then you can go use those skills to solve the problems that are plaguing your lives with your dog.